I have a confession to make. There are moments when a simple hug has stirred something far deeper in me than any kiss ever could. I'm not alone. Women have walked away from boyfriends, cheated on lovers, and found themselves consumed with thoughts of men who never even touched them beyond a single embrace. All because of how those men hugged. One careful touch, one deliberate placement of his hand, and suddenly she can't stop thinking about him. Most men hug like friends, flat, safe, forgettable. That's why she doesn't ache for you after you let go. But a man who understands the psychology of touch, who treats a hug not as routine but as an imprint, that man leaves a mark on her body and in her mind. He makes her feel something she can't name and can't ignore. I'm a woman. I've felt it. My friends whisper about it. Chances are the woman you're thinking about has felt it too. A hug can be polite, innocent, or it can become the spark of an obsession. There are 13 subtle shifts you can make during an embrace that turn a simple touch into a craving. And number 9, the one we can never resist, is the move that makes us think of you long after you're gone. Secret 1. The slow draw in. Every woman feels the difference immediately. One man snatches us into his arms as if afraid we might slip away. Another draws us in slowly, steadily, as though he already knows we'll come closer. That second approach melts us. Our muscles loosen, our breath slows, our body surrenders without permission. Why? Because pacing speaks louder than words. Fast movements signal nerves, fear, or neediness. Slow movements signal certainty, control, and grounded masculine presence. A man who doesn't rush to close the distance communicates that he owns the space between you. He isn't asking, he's guiding. I've lived this. One guy yanked me so quickly it felt like clinging. My whole body stiffened. Another simply placed his hand lightly on my arm and let me come to him at his pace. I melted against his chest. Without a single word, my body said yes. Here's your rule. Never grab, never lunge. Guide. Place your hand gently, apply calm pressure, and let her body lean into yours. Move slower than you think you should. Breathe slower than you normally do. When you slow the moment, she will replay it faster in her mind later, and once she's close, where you place your hand next changes everything. Secret 2. The lower back claim. There's a reason a woman's knees nearly buckle when a man's hand rests at the small of her back. That placement doesn't feel casual or friendly. It feels protective, possessive, like he's silently saying, "You're safe with me, and right now you're mine." The psychology is primal. The lower back is vulnerable, exposed, and close to the hips. When a man places his hand there, it taps into ancient wiring, leadership, strength, the ability to guide. Most men stay high on the shoulders, where it's platonic. But the one who calmly, confidently touches the lower back separates himself from every other man in the room. I've experienced both. One man wrapped his arms high around my shoulders, safe but sexless. Another's hand slid low and firm against my spine. Hours later, I was still thinking about that hug. It wasn't overtly sexual, but it was charged, and that charge made me want more. Your rule: guide her lower back. Not too low, not groping, firm and calm. That placement tells her she's with a man, not a boy. Once she feels that strength, she won't forget it. Secret 3. The release delay. Most men ruin the moment without realizing it. They hug, pat twice, and let go too quickly. To a woman, that feels cold, forgettable, like he couldn't wait to pull away. But the man who holds just a beat longer than expected creates a ripple in her body she can't ignore. Women are exquisitely sensitive to timing. We anticipate how long a hug should last. Break that rhythm and we react instantly. Let go too soon and it feels like rejection. Hold a touch longer and it feels like desire. That extra heartbeat forces us to wonder, did he want more? Was he feeling me? Why didn't he let go right away? Those questions loop in our minds and turn ordinary hugs into obsession. I've felt it. One man hugged me politely and released me immediately, forgotten. Another held me just long enough that I had to decide whether to pull away, and I didn't. My chest stayed against his. My mind started spinning. That pause replayed in my head like a scene on loop. Your rule: don't grip, don't cling, don't smother. Hold just one beat longer than normal, then release calmly. That slight delay will feel like unspoken desire. She'll keep playing back. Secret 4: the neck to cheek brush. Every woman knows this moment. The hug that feels ordinary until his cheek brushes against hers or his breath grazes the side of her neck. That tiny, almost accidental touch is lethal. It bypasses logic. Our body reacts before our mind can stop it. A shiver down the spine, goosebumps, a sudden warmth low in the stomach. The neck is one of the most sensitive areas on a woman's body. Intimate, vulnerable, charged with nerves tied to desire. Most men avoid it, afraid to cross a line. But the man who lets his face linger close, not in a creepy way, but with calm confidence, creates tension so thick it lingers for days. I've lived it. A man once hugged me cheek to cheek, nothing more, and I went home burning, touching the spot where his breath had been. Another man kept his face stiff and distant, safe but instantly forgettable. That's the difference. Your rule: don't force it. Let your face get close naturally as you draw her in. Breathe steady. Let the warmth of your skin graze hers for just a moment, then pull back as if nothing happened. That single brush is enough to haunt her. She'll be the one craving it again because you gave her just enough to imagine the rest. Secret 5: the silent hug. Energy most men kill the moment with words. They hug and immediately blurt something. You smell nice. I missed you. Or worse, a nervous joke. And just like that, the charge dies. But the man who hugs in silence, who simply holds without saying a word, makes us lose our balance. Because silence forces us to imagine what he's feeling. And imagination is stronger than explanation. Women analyze everything: tone, timing, words. When you stay silent, you starve us of clues, and that uncertainty turns into obsession. I've been in hugs where a man's chatter shut off the moment, but the hug where he said nothing, just breathed slow and steady against me, my mind went wild. Is he thinking about me? Is he turned on? Does he want to kiss me? Why isn't he saying anything? That loop didn't stop after the hug. It followed me all day. Your rule: don't fill the silence. Don't break the tension with words. Hug her. Hold steady. Breathe slow. Let the moment breathe. When you stop explaining yourself, she's the one who will explain you in her head, over and over, until she's hooked. Secret 6: the breath sink. One of the most powerful things a man can do during a hug requires no movement at all, only breath. When your chest presses against ours, we can feel how you're breathing. Most men breathe fast, shallow, uneven. It makes us feel their nerves. But the man who slows his breathing, deep and steady, instantly draws us into his rhythm. Without realizing it, our own breath begins to mirror his. Our heart rate calms, our body softens, and a strange intimacy forms. It feels like we've known him forever, like our bodies have become one for a few seconds. I've lived this. A man once hugged me while his breath raced. I couldn't relax. Another exhaled slowly, deeply, almost like he was meditating, and suddenly I was sinking into him. I didn't want to let go. Your rule: breathe slow and steady. Let her chest rise and fall with yours. When your rhythm dominates hers, she won't be able to forget how safe and how alive she felt in your arms. Secret 7: the subtle squeeze. A hug without variation feels flat, like pressing two mannequins together. But a hug with a slight squeeze at the right moment feels electric. That gentle tightening around her shoulders or waist communicates emotion without words. I feel you. I want you close. It's not about crushing her ribs or clinging too hard. It's about a pulse, a firm, fleeting squeeze that carries meaning. Our bodies interpret it instantly as desire, as warmth, as something beyond casual. I've experienced both. A man hugged me with arms stiff as wood, nothing. Another gave the slightest squeeze, almost imperceptible, and suddenly I felt butterflies in my stomach. That one movement rewrote the entire hug. Your rule: midway through the embrace, add the briefest squeeze. Don't overdo it. Make it subtle, almost unconscious. That little pulse of strength will replay in her memory like a secret message she can't decode. Secret 8, the whisper of hands. Most men place their hands and leave them frozen, but women notice the slightest movement. A hand that shifts slowly, confidently, tells us more than any speech could. Slide your palm slightly upward along her spine. Let your thumb trace a small circle. Move your hand lower by just an inch. These micro movements awaken nerves across her body and make her hyper aware of every point of contact. It's not about groping or grabbing. That ruins the spell. It's about whispering through touch. The subtlest stroke can feel more intimate than an entire kiss because it lingers in her skin long after. I remember one man whose hands stayed stiff, frozen. I forgot his hug instantly, but the man whose thumb drew a small circle against my back, I thought about it all week. Your rule: let your hands speak softly. Keep it small, slow, intentional. One delicate movement during a hug is enough to tattoo you into her nervous system. Secret 9, the hair graze, her weak spot. This is the one we can never resist. When a man's hand or cheek grazes our hair, whether brushing strands behind an ear, letting his fingers trail gently through, or simply allowing his chin to rest against it, the effect is overwhelming. Hair is intimate. It carries scent, it frames the face, it brushes against sensitive skin. When you touch it with confidence and care, it feels both protective and primal. It's a gesture that says, I see you as feminine, I claim you as mine, and I want to be close enough to breathe you in. I've experienced it. A man once tucked my hair behind my ear during a hug, and I nearly lost my balance. Another buried his face gently against my hair, breathing me in, and I couldn't stop replaying it later. That tiny, innocent touch felt more erotic than any kiss. Your rule: treat her hair as a delicate invitation. Brush lightly, tuck gently, graze naturally. Do it once, not constantly. That single moment will ignite something primal in her she won't be able to resist. Secret 10, the shoulder anchor. There's a reason why, when a man's hand settles firmly on a woman's shoulder blade during a hug, we feel a sudden rush of security. That placement is commanding without being invasive. It holds us in place gently, like saying, "You're safe right here." When his palm presses with just the right firmness, it feels like we're being anchored, grounded, steady, connected to something immovable. And women crave that sense of grounding more than we admit. One man touched my shoulder weakly, almost like he didn't know where to put his hand. Forgettable. Another let his palm rest with calm weight, not squeezing, just steady. I felt like I could collapse into him and nothing in the world would shake me loose. Your rule: don't hover, don't tap, don't fidget. Place your hand firmly on her shoulder blade, hold it with quiet strength, and let her feel that you're not letting her drift. That stillness will make her body remember you. Secret 11, the whisper of a tilt. A tiny tilt of your head changes the entire psychology of a hug. Straight on is neutral, safe, friendly. But tilt your head slightly, just enough that your cheek brushes hers, and the entire embrace shifts into intimacy. It signals that you're not treating her like just anyone. You're attuning to her body, aligning yourself, and bringing her closer into your orbit. I once hugged a man who stood stiff, head straight like a soldier. It felt formal. Another tilted just enough so his cheek brushed my temple, subtle, careful, deliberate. I walked away dizzy, replaying that second over and over. Your rule: tilt slightly, not forced, not exaggerated, just enough that your face is close to hers, so your warmth brushes her skin. That small angle will feel to her like you've stepped out of the friend zone and into something far more dangerous. Secret 12, the time-bending hug. The most intoxicating hugs are the ones that warp time. How? By shifting the tempo. Start calm, steady, like every other embrace. Then, halfway through, add a subtle change. A firmer squeeze, a slower breath, a slight reposition of your hand. Suddenly, the hug feels different than when it began. It becomes dynamic, layered, unforgettable. Why does this work? Because the human brain clings to contrast. If a hug begins and ends the same, it blends into memory. But if something changes midway, it lodges in her mind like a spark. I once hugged a man who did nothing different start to finish. Safe, forgettable. Another hugged me lightly at first, then pulled me closer just a touch tighter at the end. I couldn't stop wondering, what changed? Why did that feel so different? That shift replayed in my body all night. Your rule: let the hug evolve. Begin soft, end firmer, or begin firm, end with a gentle, slow release. That change will brand the moment into her memory. Secret 13, the reluctant release. This is the finale, the one that ensures she will replay the hug for days. It's not about how you pull her in, it's about how you let her go. Most men drop their arms the second the hug ends, almost as if they can't wait to escape. Forgettable. But the man who releases slowly, reluctantly, as though savoring the last moment, creates a magnetic aftertaste. It's that hesitation, not clinging, not begging, just a subtle delay in letting her body go that makes us feel craved. It makes us wonder, did he want more? Was he holding back? That unspoken question is what keeps us hooked. I remember vividly, one man let go instantly, arms falling like dead weight, cold. Another lingered half a heartbeat longer, his hand sliding away with a whisper instead of dropping. I walked away burning. That half second haunted me for weeks. Your rule: don't break the spell too soon. Let go slowly, as if you wish the hug could last. Release as though it costs you something. That reluctance will echo inside her body long after you've walked away. At this point, you might wonder, why does a simple hug hold so much power? Why can 13 small adjustments turn a casual embrace into an obsession that lingers for days? The truth is this: women are wired to read signals and touch more deeply than in words. Our nervous system is hyper-attuned to subtle cues of strength, safety, desire, and control. Every shift of a hand, every breath, every pause tells our body something before our mind can interpret it. When a man hugs like every other man, quick, shallow, thoughtless, we file it away as nothing. But when a man hugs with presence, when he treats the embrace as communication, it speaks directly to our primal brain. It bypasses logic, bypasses resistance, and embeds itself like a secret code in our memory. That's why women leave boyfriends for the way another man hugged them once. That's why we cheat, why we dream, why we replay a single moment in our minds until it drives us crazy. It's not the kiss, not the words, not even the sex. It's the hug that started it all. I'll tell you something I don't admit easily. There was a man in my life once. Not my boyfriend, not even someone I planned to be with. He hugged me only once, but the way he did it left me haunted. He pulled me in slowly. His hand rested firm on my lower back. His breath slowed until mine matched. And when he released me, he did it like it cost him something. Nothing happened between us, no kiss, no promise. But for weeks after, I couldn't stop thinking about him. My body remembered what my mind tried to forget, and that is the quiet power of a hug. It can rearrange a woman's emotions without a single word. Most men will shrug this off. They'll think it's exaggerated, too detailed, too subtle. They'll keep hugging like boys, quick, weak, flat, and they'll keep wondering why women forget them. But the man who listens, who takes these 13 secrets seriously, will notice something change. Women will linger in his arms, they'll breathe him in, they'll look at him differently after, they'll replay the hug alone in their rooms, restless, craving more. He won't need to talk his way into her mind. His hug will do it for him. Think about it for a moment. Out of all the ways a man can touch a woman, the kiss, the caress, even the intimacy of being together in bed, why is it that a hug, the simplest of gestures, can linger the longest? Because a hug is where the body speaks before the mind interferes. There are no words to disguise it, no rehearsed lines to hide behind. It is raw, honest presence. A woman knows instantly if a man is truly there with her, or if he's distracted, unsure, or treating her like every other woman. When you hug with presence, slow, intentional, steady, you send signals more powerful than anything you could say. Her nervous system hears safe, strong, masculine, certain. And that combination is irresistible. Most men will never master it. They'll continue giving empty hugs, quick pats on the back, half-hearted embraces, limp arms. Those hugs disappear the moment they end. No memory, no echo, no fire. But you, if you choose, can become different. You can turn a hug into an imprint, a memory that brands itself into her skin, her breath, her pulse. A moment she replays alone at night when no one is watching. Imagine her after that hug. She walks away, trying to focus on other things, but her mind drifts back. She feels again the weight of your hand on her lower back. She remembers the pause before you released her. She recalls the way her breath synced with yours, and how strange it felt that her body surrendered without thought. Hours later, she still feels it. Days later, she wonders why she can't stop replaying it. And when she finally sees you again, her body betrays her, heart quickening, warmth rushing through her. She doesn't admit it out loud, but deep down, she knows it was the hug. This is the quiet weapon most men ignore. A kiss can be dismissed, words can be forgotten, but the right hug becomes a ghost she carries. It haunts her, whispers to her, reminds her of you when she least expects it. And here is the truth no woman will tell you directly. We crave it. We crave the hug that makes us feel claimed without being trapped, protected without being smothered, desired without being disrespected. That delicate balance, strength and restraint, firmness and gentleness, silence and energy, is what drives us mad. When you learn this art, you no longer need to chase. You don't have to prove yourself with stories, jokes, or endless effort. A single hug does the work for you. It speaks to her body in a language she cannot unhear. So the next time you hold her, remember, don't rush. Don't treat it like a routine. Slow down, guide her, anchor her. Let her feel without words that she is in the arms of a man who knows exactly who he is. And when you finally release her, do it reluctantly, as though you are letting go of something precious. Because to her, in that moment, she is. The kiss may start desire, the touch may spark curiosity, but the hug is what makes her fall. So master it, practice it, make it your signature. Because one day, she will tell her friends about the way you kissed her, about the way you looked at her. But what she will never admit, not even to herself, is that what truly hooked her was the way you held her. And that secret will be yours alone. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this story. If you've made it this far, you already know that a hug can be far more than a casual gesture. It can be the beginning of an obsession, a memory that lingers, a silent language between two people. If this resonated with you, don't just let it fade away. Take these secrets, use them, and notice how differently women respond when you hold them with true presence. And if you'd like to discover even more hidden truths about psychology, attraction, and the mysteries of human connection, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Your support helps me create more content like this, stories, insights, and lessons that change the way you see yourself and the people around you. So until next time, remember this: a single hug done right can speak louder than 1,000 words.